How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. Today we are going to be doing a Patron Picks episode, catching up on the Patron Picks voting. And they want to talk about the H4M Mayhem, which is a HackRF Porta Pack. And boy howdy, what does all of that even mean? Well, I'm going to explain it in a couple of minutes. Well, seconds. Anyway, you'll see me in a second here. Enjoy the memes. We'll get started real soon. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Thank you so much for following me on over here on a Saturday. You could spend your time anywhere on the internets, and you're here chilling with us, so I appreciate that. Hey, what's up, radio operator? New member. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Okay, so what is a HackRF? Sorry? Well, it's the body, it's an SDR, basically, that this device, the H4M, is riding on. This is the H4M Mayhem Porta Pack. Right now, it's just receiving a local FM radio station. But based off the collection of things that I have around on the table, you might know where we're going with this. This does a lot of stuff. More stuff than a Flipper Zero, for instance, right? So I have the Flipper Zero there as just kind of a reference. This is a radio that does very interesting things. There's lots of tools built into it in the form of different software that we're going to break down and we're going to talk about as we go through this. So, again, thanks everybody for coming on out. Let me pull this up here. So, big shout out to hamtactical.com, our merch store for the Ham Radio Crash Course. We got all of our crazy shirts and merch stuff as well as a number of other things. So go check it out, hamtactical.com. Also, a couple of interesting news items. So I was having discussions with the creator here of the Nomad Link Pro backpack, and he is a ham, this 4Roam company. They're designing a backpack that has the Starlink Mini on the outside, and it flips out wherever you're at, and you can get internet that way. But because he's a ham, he's added a couple of other things. You can see it there on his shoulder. A couple of other things that are really, really interesting. So I'm interested to get my hands on one of these backpacks to check it out. But I mention it because it's a Kickstarter. So if you're interested in what they put out, it's going to go live here pretty soon. So check that out. The link is in the video description. We'll be talking about it in the future. But you can see, let's see, where is, let me see if I can find that cool image. Yeah, so pretty cool backpack. Nicely done. It's all Swiss-made, I believe, right now, so it's not cheap quality stuff. It's very good equipment. Anyway, go check it out. Link is in the video description. Also, big shout-out to the Steam game Morse that we talked about a little bit on one of the after chats. It's going live November 11th. November 11th. So real soon, you're going to be able to play this game in its final, configuration for release. So out of alpha, Steam games doing that's always a cool thing. And after we did the live stream, another group reached out to me and said, hey, we make a CW interface that has USB-C for playing the game among many other things. So you can do online CW basically with this. So there are a couple of kits out there to be able to interface a straight key for playing the Morse game, which again is going to drop here on the 11th. So pretty cool. All right, got that stuff out of the way. So the ham H4M Mayhem Proto Pack is $162, right? So it's not that expensive, and in fact, I think you can dump the price down if you want to forgo all those little extra attachments and whatnot. It's pretty inexpensive, and like I said, it's a radio in the sense that it'll go from 50 megahertz to 66 gigahertz, and in fact, I am using an upconverter for some HF things as I dip into the HF side of it. But it'll receive upper sideband, lower sideband, AM, FM, wide, narrow, and a number of other things. But you can see the list there as well. And I do highly recommend you go check out the Wikipedia page for this thing, because it is pretty intense. All the different options of software and controls you have, and I'm only going to be able to scratch the surface through an hour on some of this stuff. So keep that in mind. It's a ton. If you're really interested in one of these, it's not that expensive, and you kind of get a lot of different stuff online. So go check out the Wikipedia. But going through this, so there are a number of different versions that this has come out in, and the basic idea is that this is a HackRF 1, and they have a H1 device like this. There's a H2. They've had different revisions of the hardware throughout time, which they here track within their little Wikipedia website. It's pretty impressive. Is like an SDR unit. Exactly. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the HackRF, the HackRF is basically an SDR that can receive and transmit. It's unique in the space of like the little RTL dongles and stuff like that, because this thing will actually transmit. And yes, you can do ham frequencies. It'll transmit CTSS tones. It's not a ham radio, though. I want to be really clear. It's on my channel, the Ham Radio Crash Course, but this is not a ham radio. This is more of an RF toolkit for reasons that you're going to understand. There's some ham stuff. There is, like APRS and all that fun stuff. But anyway. I have wanted one of these, but so many choices. Yeah, so this is the creator's website. This is where it's shipped from direct, this open source SDR Labs. If you want one of these, like a legitimate one, this is the website. Yeah, and I believe you can say ship from US, and if you want just a sparse bundle, oh, that's interesting. It just jumped up to $199. How did that work? What's a bundle 1? Well, now you got me confused, Don. Now you got me wondering there. Let me scroll through here really quick. What is a bundle 1 encompass versus a bundle 2 versus a bundle 3? Bundle 4? Oh, so that's interesting. The price because I changed it to US. Okay. So it's $200 for the sparse one, which, to be honest with you really don't need all those accessories. So $200 is kind of like the price. That makes sense because it's shipped from the United States, so they probably already put tariffs on it and whatever. Is that an LNA? It is. So this little guy here, where is it? This number 1, that's a low noise amplifier. That could be useful. I will say that if you don't have one of those, that can be kind of useful. So, all right. Great. We got it. We'll come back to it because there's a lot more to talk about. Also mention I am using a discone antenna on my roof for a lot of this stuff. That's generally been my choice for using for like a wideband receive antenna that goes from 25 megahertz up to 3,000 megahertz. So pretty good. It's more or less a receiver antenna from my point of view. I do not transmit really into it. And I am using a hammered up converter on HF, which I can talk a little bit about, but at the same time, this SDR is not specifically designed for HF. It'll do some things, but anyway. I'm going to leave this up here because we may need to come back to the wiki, because you can see all these items on the right are all utilities. They're all receivers or transmit tools. It's a ton of stuff. So you can start pouring over that as I play around a little bit. Okay, got it? Good. Let's go back over here. Let's talk about some of this stuff. There it is. Yep, we figured that out. Price is based off of ship location. Yeah, it's also extremely hard to find in stock. So the fact that it's in stock right now is actually kind of cool for the live stream. And I'm not an affiliate of any of this. This is just me like, hey, this thing's pretty cool. Probably true, Jody. It's probably easier going through China. Okay, let's take a look at this. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I'm going to start out with some of what I think is the coolest stuff, and then we'll play around with some of the little accessories, utilities. You get the idea. Okay, let's slide on over. Okay, here I am in the operator position. So it's pretty straightforward. I use a stylus. I have a couple of styluses, but this little pen has a little thing on the side. There's an arrow here. Oop. Maybe. Where's my other stylus? There we go. Okay. So the device is broken down. Where are you at? There we go. In receive sections, transmit, receive, and then transceiver. But then there's a couple of like tools right up front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Looking Glass, and I'm going to do our first example. I have a little dongle here, right? This is a on and off. I'll show you by zooming out here. This switch, if you watch here, so it just came on, and I'm now charging a battery. And if I click it again, it's gone. Well, I'm listening at 433 megahertz again through 433 start, and 435 is the high end, so bookends of a frequency space. And you can see there's this signal that's like right there. That's actually this remote. And so you can set this to whatever you want. In fact, I'll back it out a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. And we should see our signal right there. Yeah, there it is. So we're using Looking Glass as kind of like a frequency counter, but more on a waveform that you can see, right? So, okay, cool. What do I do with that? Well, let's figure out what frequency it's actually on. So I'm going to go max hold is on, and I'm going to go down to marker, and I'm going to start sliding my marker over. And is that 443.9, somewhere around there? Okay, maybe. Let's go to the capture page. And so this is at 433.9. It's about where we're at. And if I transmit, hey, look, there's our signal. Right? That's the on signal, and there's the off signal. There's the off signal, and there's the on signal. All right, you're pissing me off. Focus in and knock it off. All right, there you go. Yeah, you can see that. So with this, I can just hit record. And let's hit it quickly and then stop it. So, okay, we've recorded some audio or some signal that was transmitted. So now I want to replicate this guy by retransmitting it. So I will go back to the replay option. And I'll click the little plus sign. And I should have a couple of signals here. These are the signals I just captured, but I saved these earlier, and I renamed them in the file tool. So if I back out, by the way, this is exactly what a flipper will do. This is not, we're not getting into anything the flipper's bread and butter is kind of what we're doing right now. This has much wider frequency spaces than the flipper works on, though. So anyway, so if I go to, what is this? On? Let's send it. Oh, no, I'll go to off first. And send it. It's off. And you can see it, that's what it played, right? Cool. So let's change that over to on and send it again. There it is. It's on. Yep. And so this is like the start of this, right? What did we just do? We received using the Looking Glass tool to kind of like get an idea of where our signals were. Then we narrowed it down. We captured the signal, and then we replayed the signal. So you could hypothetically do this for, purposes, right? But this is just a good example of like how it works fundamentally, right? Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just shut it off because I don't want that on while I'm doing the thing. Okay. There is also a scanner. There's actually two scanner apps. This one's called Recon. There's another one just called Scanner. By the way, this is kind of like open source development, so there's people that are doing different things with it. But the idea behind this is that you go into, where is it? Oh, it just picked up something. It's scanning right now automatically. But that's a little low given the signal or the antenna I'm on. So I'm going to just change it to like 25 megahertz, and we'll go to 900. We can play around with this later, but I'm more just demonstrating. Like, yep, okay, cool. And so it should start it'll start going through the frequency spaces. Oh, I don't want it to start there. I want it to start at 25. And it'll start scanning through. You can see it scanning here, and you're like, oh, it stopped because it heard a signal that breaks squelch, but it's not really a valid signal. You can hear the noise there, maybe. So I'm going to just move on. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. Okay, so that's the scanner app. You can play around with that if you want. But going through some of this other stuff, we'll get into utilities at the end because it's just kind of like, how to, like, interesting references. But let's go to receive. So here's a list of things it'll just do right off of the bat. APRS, ADSB, AIS for boats. My boats. Don't mess with my boats. ADSB. Let's just start pulling. Again, I'm using my disc cone. Let's let it pull for a couple of seconds here. And there is beeping every time it gets a signal. Sounds like CW. How much is it? It's about $200. Links in the video description. Okay, so we got a couple of them. Let's scroll down to one of them. So, all right, this is a something or other. I don't exactly know what it is. Let's go to AC details. So it gives you registration code. It's Boeing. It's a 737D. Okay, cool. Wait, who was that? What airline? United Airlines. And let's see it on the map. Cool. What? Why are you... Lost my signals. There it is. Let me go back, get another one. Cool. Somebody got the boat reference. I don't think I can pull up boats here, but I'll try it while we're just listening. I don't think I was able to get any the last time I ran this. But yes, oh, I got one. It just beeped at me. Cool. All right, what is this? Unknown status. Where is it on the map? Hey, it's by Catalina Island. In fact, that could be Catalina. Yeah, the map use is a bit weird, but it works for all intents and purposes. I know, it's super cool. It's super cool. We haven't even gotten to the cool stuff yet. Or all of it. The record, I think, is probably one of my favorite things about it. But, okay. So, APRS. Sure, why not? Let's check out what's going on in APRS. Maybe? No. Am I on the right antenna? Yeah. Not a 1, huh? Normally I don't wait this long for an APRS squawk when I'm live. There it is. So this is the stream. If we go to list. Hey, there we go. There's someone. Oh, that's Mexico. Let's go check that out. Yep. So, yeah, just south of the border there, just south of Tijuana. There we go. Now they're coming in. So, yeah, you can use this for APRS things. And, yes, this is just the receive side, guys. We're just receiving right now, right? Audio, I kind of already showed that in the beginning. That's like listening to music. Actually, you can do all kinds of stuff with it, but I use using that as an example. It's not really designed for high-quality audio, but it works. Oh, it's because I was slightly off frequency. Yeah. Okay. Bluetooth low energy, sure. It'll just throw out everything it sees around itself. Which is pretty cool, if you're interested in that. Now, POCSAG, I don't have really any POCSAG pagers in the area for transmitters, but it does have a, it will transmit POCSAG, and that's why this is here. We're going to demonstrate that you can send POCSAG messages with this, which is, again, pretty awesome. So I'm going to leave that for right now. Oh, wait, was that? No, that was filter. I was freaking out. Got excited. I'm like, there's no way there's any POCSAG roaming around here. Radio SONs, if you are in the mood to chase down all those weather balloons that the NOAA puts out. I don't know if they're doing that right now with the shutdown and all that, but this will help you track them down. And it does have a fox hunt capability built into it, which I'll show you here in a second. Search is another tool. Yeah, we can let that run in the background right now. Yeah, so look at that. What's on that frequency? I have no idea. So it sees something on 210, 175. Interesting. You can log these things if you want, so save them off. Listening. It's got full signal, but I don't know what that is. So you could almost use this as like sniffing out for radio devices. But I don't need that. Sub-gigahertz is like a node listening. So if the frequency we set earlier, if I hit it, yeah, see that? Nailed it immediately. Hey, look at that. What was that? That was a Princeton serial number, blah, 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 and that was the data that was set, right? So you can use this. So, all right, keep that in mind. Let's do that one. And I can go, and those are all going to be slightly different. So it'll track whatever it's seeing on the frequency that you're listening to. I believe they're in stock now, link in the video description, but I could be wrong. Somebody tell me in the chat if you were able to look it up if you're actually trying to purchase one. Now, this didn't work for me because just probably nothing in range, but it'll pull up weather information like weather alerts if there are weather alerts on whatever the frequencies are. In the US and Japan, I believe it's 315 is the primary one. Can't demonstrate that for you, but that's the idea. This level tool, so if I remember correctly, yeah, you can set this to whatever frequency and it'll give you a level readout depending on mode of operation. You can set bandwidth, you can change your receiver stats. And again, what I'm playing around with is the low noise amplifier, your VGA. There is an internal preamp, but I usually leave that off. Just I don't want to try and blow the front end on this thing. Because the Wikipedia does mention it's like be careful with the front end. You don't want to blow this thing up. Oh, only bundle 4 is available. Well, you get a low noise amplifier with that, so yeah, more dongles than you need. Something fun though is, well, I guess fun, but an immediate status icon is anything that has like a red logo for the app means that it's still in kind of early development. Things that are green or orange, green means it's like solid, it works. Orange means it's kind of working, not exactly working. But when it's red, it's like not working. So detector, I believe, yeah. So we can use the detector to do LoRa. So let's just let this run for a second as it's copying LoRa or looking for LoRa. In fact, I wonder if I can make it blast off with some LoRa. Let's see if we can get a big signal of LoRa. I'm going to... I should just be able to get to... Yep. Should be able to get to it from here. Oh. Didn't expect that. Oh, okay. That worked. Yeah, something got a little funky with my solar node on the roof. It's having to reconnect, but... Okay. So I'm connected to my HRCC solar on the roof, and I'm just going to say hi. And let's see what this does here. So I'm going to back it up just a touch so I can sync up my click. And by the way, the Meshtastic is right next to this antenna, so we should see a big blip here when I do it. Ready? Go. Yeah. Right there. The big red spike. Right there again. Yep. Pretty cool. I did upgrade it. It's brand new upgraded. I did the firmware yesterday, and I copied the SD card over. Is mine... Literally, I got the stable build from yesterday. I thought I did. We can talk about that, too. It updates via the web, very simply. It's fantastic. It's so far been a lot of fun. I carry this thing with me all the time. Now, fox hunting. Well, I got a fox right here. Check this out. Now, unfortunately, I haven't used this to track down any signals. I'm kind of curious to track down a some noise with it. Probably not the intended purpose, but yeah. Yes, I did. I copied the SD card over. Yes, I updated the SD card. Downloaded it to the SD card, put it in the machine, and then did a full firmware upgrade. Because the maps are there. The maps wouldn't be there if the SD card was not updated. Cool. All right. WeFax, unfortunately, I can't get the WeFax to work, and it's largely because of my noise. Oh, let's turn that off. Because of the noise that I have on HF. But that's where you would switch over to the upconverter. Unfortunately, the WeFax transmissions are off right now for probably another hour. I'm going to let it run in the background, though, when we finish the show, and maybe we'll get something on HF. But, yeah. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't have an example. I wish I did. Sadly, there is a couple of things down here that, not really of use right now. Analog TV, not really of use. And where is it? NOAA. Yeah, sadly, NOAA is not really usable right now because all the NOAA sats have been decommissioned, and it doesn't do GOES yet. At least I don't know if there's somebody working on a GOES app for this, but it should work because it's in the frequency space that this operates on. It'd be fun to see GOES because GOES is geosynchronous. So hypothetically, you could connect anything up to this, almost any antenna that can receive it, and it should be able to get it. Now, one that I haven't been able to test yet is a tire pressure monitor. That's right. It's got the ability to receive tire pressure monitor data. I don't. I did not go outside to try and do that. I didn't go kick some tires to see if I could get it to go. But a fun little thing. Yeah. Okay, so that's generally what I wanted to cover. There's more stuff. You can go look this up. Again, anything that's red and orange is kind of not using, or it's still in development. Scanner's kind of been superseded by the other tool that's in the beginning on the main page. But anyway, cool stuff. So let's go back and let's go to transmit. So this is where we're gonna get a little bit of fun. So I've got a APRS capable radio here. So I'm gonna set that right there so you can see it. You can. Okay, good. Let's go into this. So I will. Let's see. We're gonna be 7. And we're going to be KI6. So the only downside of this is that you got to go down through all of these in the iPod Shuffle or the iPod Classic way of doing this. And it doesn't, you can't roll to the left to go start at Z. So making the end of my call sign a bit of a pain. It's not a full packet, as you'll see in a little bit, but let's go all the way to the end and I'll show you. Okay. No. There we go. No destination. Let's go to set, and we'll just say hi. Okay. And watch up here, specifically on top there. Okay. Hi, or KI6NAZ. Not a fully fledged APRS packet. It's probably my fault. I need to know a little bit more about it, but. I'm going to leave that blank. Anyway, you get the idea. You can change frequency if you need to, but generally that's APRS. Yeah. How well does FM commercial radio work? Well, what the heck? I'll indulge you before I give you my. So there's a radio here. Here is the radio. This is a local AM classical station. Sounds pretty good. Those are some oboes oboing. Yeah, very good. I think that's respectable. Back to transmit. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. You can transmit Bluetooth. I'm not gonna, but you can do that if you want. Yeah, I think it's stereo, but I am not running stereo speakers right now. Now, the OOK or 00K is on-off keying, I believe. This I did not play around with. You can do some stuff with this that I'm like not experienced in, so I'm not going to mess around with that. For those of you that are interested, though, it's there. You could probably get, and in fact, let me let me go back and show you what the wiki page says when you go to transmit. So over here, utilities, there it is. Okay, look at the disclaimer on the opening of this thing. Warning: you got to be 18 to even look at this thing. Okay, in a lot of states, denotes it. So okay. Denotes the simplest form of amplitude shift keying. Modulation represents digital data signal as the presence and absence of a carrier. OK systems are often. So I'm guessing this is like garage door stuff, right? Like opening garage doors, that kind of funness. So yeah, you could do some stuff with this. I won't be going into detail on that. You can go explore that if you want. Anyway, all right. Now, all right. So we killed the APRS thing. We're good there. We do have a POCSAG transmit, though. So I made a video years ago, right, on these POCSAG pagers. This one receives on 439.9875, and I used a DMR node, a Pi-Star node, to be able to do it. And they're pretty cool, though. If you can find one of these, I don't know where you still get them, but if you hold down the bottom button and the top button, it will enter a programming mode. So, yeah, I think you just... Yeah, okay. By the way, the password is all zeros for these. So these different channels are what it can receive on. And I've just hand-jammed all zeros in A here for the purpose of testing. But basically, you just have to replicate this number in this and then set this to alphanumeric for the type of pager that you're doing. And it'll transmit the signals on it. So, yeah, let me go down here, exit. Okay, we're out. So chilling with my pager, right, as all cool kids do. If I want to go in here and say, hi, chat, right? The only problem I have is this is like straight alpha. I don't like just alphabetic organized. It should be QWERTY from my point of view, but whatever. So if I change this to alphanumeric and then hit start. Pretty cool. Pretty dang cool. That you can do POCSAG with this. Don't know why that would be like needed, but but okay. Yeah. What else? Haven't played around with a lot of this stuff, right? There's apparently a way to do something with touch-tune jukeboxes. I don't know anything about this. You got to be there, I guess, to make this work, but we'll leave that alone. There is a signal generator. So if you have, let's see, modulation. Yes. We probably want an FM sine wave here, and we don't want it to stop. So what is this? 43392. Okay. So if I take another radio. Ooh. Is it because it's pure sine wave? Interesting. I can't hear it. 43392. Oh, 92. I did it wrong. That's why. There it is. I'm a little off frequency. That's my step. That's loud. Pseudo noise. Cool. Transmit capability of a signal noise generator is nice. You can use that for different purposes, including testing equipment, right? So this is a nice little tool. Again, like an RF multi-tool, right? Does a lot of stuff. So what else? Morse. All right. We're not going to fox hunt. We are going to... Okay, it likes 144, 390, so we'll go back into this guy. I turned it off. I shouldn't have done that. I forgot we're going to this one next. Okay. That's fine. So you can use this as a fox. If we loop it, let's see if we can set... Yeah, there we go. Let's set a 5-second loop. And wait 5 seconds. Isn't that cool? This thing's awesome, man. Love it. Okay, so we're not going to go into that, but you can probably get the idea. This is street lights in Canada. I don't believe we have these in the United States, so this is probably not going to be useful for us. There is a jammer of a sense, right? So do with that what you will. I'm not going to demonstrate that. And let's see, SSTV. So, SSTV, you say? Yes, indeed. Where is my other radio that I need? Right here. Hold on. Please hold. Okay. So, let's go into SSTV. And I think we're on the same frequency. Let's see. Maybe. I'm using my... People have been asking me, what's the story with your e-ink phone? So, it's a tablet. It's called Books. Palma, and it's, I don't know, it's a couple $100, but let's see if I can connect to my VRN76. It should be good. Okay, so SSTV, they're lined up and matching, 145, 500, matching. And if I click here, by the way, all the N7600s will do this if you, the N76, the 7600 will do it too, but anyway, if I click on, I'm spoiling it, but, let me go back here. So if I click on the little, looks like a talk bubble. Okay, so we'll set that here. Whoop, use my pager as a prop. I'm going to move my Red Dawn out of the way. And so it'll start receiving it right there. So what's cool about this radio, by the way, one of my favorite things about this radio is I was walking around DEF CON with this phone using the camera on the back, taking pictures of stuff, and I was transmitting while I was walking around SSTV. And the Ham Radio Village was picking me up and seeing kind of my live updates via SSTV as I was walking around to find different cool stuff. This is great. This is such a fun radio. All kinds of cool little things you can do with it. It's just, you know how, like, to do that alone, just this SSTV thing, you had to get like a Kenwood radio and this very special digital communicator device to do it, just to do standard SSTV like this is doing. So what's cool about this is this runs off an SD card, and so you just take the SD card, fill it with images, and then you can send it while you go, which is just awesome. So you're done? No, charge it. Bye. Okay, close the door. Jeez. So anyway, there we go. We got a message. I forget if I can actually zoom in on this or not. Yeah, let's open it with gallery and see. Yeah. Isn't that cool? I don't know, man. They're super cool. Absolutely love stuff like this. So good. Okay. So this one, unfortunately, is kind of on the orange side of the hue. I wasn't able to get this to work correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to, let's set this to 28, oops, no, 28.160. Yeah, about like that. And I'm going to change the text to KI6NAZ just so that nobody gets upsetty about, what are you doing out here, son? KI6NAZ. Okay. I don't know what all these are. I think the bandwidth of 12K5 is too big. I think that's too big, but let's flip this over here really fast and see if I can get set up to receive this. So go back over to here. Maybe add my, helps if the radio's on. Where are you? Of course. Of course I go live and it's not going to work. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Terrific. Why didn't it work? Where? It's on. Oh, there it is. What the heck? Okay. So I don't think this is going to work, but because I wasn't able to get it done. And it's orange, so whatever. We're going to go up to 28. 28.160. So it's... Oh, and my mic... Come on now. Come on now. Why is there so much noise on my... Dude, it got even worse. My noise got even worse. Okay. So I think maybe we can give this a whirl. So let's see if I can also do this. Okay. I'm going to hit the go button. Hey, there it is. It's working. Now, it will do images, but it's like really, really low bit rate images. So yeah, that works. Okay. I guess I had to be on the right frequency. So I'll tell you what, that is literally my my entire channel is built around the concept of trying and failing. That's all that matters is you try. Indeed, shout out to the veterans. Tuesday, the 7th. Yeah, this will be known as the Cerritos buzzer. That's right. Let's see it one more time, kids. That's awesome. That's so cool. I love stuff like this. It works. Like you could fiddle around and tinker with it. Awesome. By the way, shout out to the Discord. We'll be going live after this show. If you have any ham radio questions or radio questions in general, you want to talk about the H4M. I don't like that. I don't know why. I can't get my mind around it. H4M Mayhem. There you go. Come join us. Ask questions. We're there for the newbies. You guys get priority. We'll answer your questions first. But all right, let's keep playing around with this. The last time I tried to push an image, it actually crashed. I don't know that it has a pre-coded image, but let me see if I can find. Let me see if we can find one. So let's do image, and let's see if there's an image we can load. Yeah, see, it didn't like this. This is my logo image, and it crashed when I tried to send it because it was just too big. I couldn't get it down to I think it has to be 25. I don't remember. Very small, very small. It's gonna kill. This kills the crab when I try and send this right now. But here we go. Yeah, immediately failed. So, okay. If you do fail, which happens, there's a reset button right here. Just click it. Brings it right back. Easy. Easy peasy. We tried. Maybe we can play around with that on the after chat. I know, right? Yeah, it's like an ATM machine. Yeah, this Portapack is fantastic. Very, very nicely done. It is a huge upgrade from the previous generations. It's very, very cool. It does have no. So the switch is for the microphone, which we're going to play around here shortly for the transmit side. But it does have an internal speaker as well. I'm just using a remote speaker. Okay, cool. Nope. What else? If you want to do ADSB things, I'm not doing that. Sorry. Not going to be doing that from my house. We will not be doing GPSM. Now, Burger Pager is kind of interesting, and we'll probably pull up the wiki for this. But the idea behind this one is it allows you to send a data package to those restaurant pagers. I have a restaurant pager. Don't ask how I got. Actually, you can ask. It was just sent to me in a box. It showed up in a box. The battery was dead. So I literally power it with a power supply. I got it turned on, and I couldn't. It didn't work because I don't know what the data package is here. It was a different brand than what I think this was designed to do. Scanning for me did not yield a result, and I do know the frequency of the devices. At least I think I do, and it didn't work. So, FYI, it could do it, but you have to know a lot of details about your pagers in particular, and I didn't, so it didn't work for me. And key fob is still in work. LGE, OK editor, OK brute. BLE spam is like low energy Bluetooth, just creating lots of entities and like blasting the signals in that space. I don't know what Hopper is. What's Hopper? Okay, not gonna mess with that. And see, okay. So this is also supposed to be CVS, like it'll send commands to CVS paging system. Again, didn't test it. Don't know if it works or not. And then Flipper transmit. This would be like if you had Flipper files that you have collected. So you set the frequency, browse, and you can send different things. So all right, there's that. Let's go into the transceiver really quick because it's very straightforward. But the basic idea is this guy is a radio. So you can set a Roger beep, and if I transmit into it, oh, what happened? Why does it keep moving? Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu. Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu. That's receiving the signals in. And if I take it and go Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu, a little too close, but it will transmit as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right. What next? Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time. A couple of notes on some of the utilities that this thing has. So if you go back, There are some games. I don't really care about the games. You can go straight to the HackRF if you want to go back to the baseband device and use the software there is fine. But under utilities, you actually have a frequency manager for the stuff that it hangs on to. I think, yeah, CB band. Just tons of different frequency sets. Freenet, FRS, GMRS, ham 2-meter band, 70 centimeter band, ISM, key fobs, marine UHF. I wonder if you... Oh, you just edit it. Okay, that's fine. There's a notepad for editing, and yeah, it actually is a notepad. Not a very handy tool to edit on, but in a pinch, you can. SD over USB, we're not going to mess around with that. Flash utility. Antenna length, and yes, so let's just put in a number here. So let's say we're building a 14.250 megahertz, and so you need roughly about 17 feet, 3.1 inches, or 5 meters, and it gives you both in metric and imperial, right? So that's pretty cool. Very awesome. What else? Calculator. There is a metronome and it works. Calculator. War drive, you actually have to have like a Wi-Fi list to show this up, and you have to put it on the SD card. But yeah, there's a tuner. I'm not going to do it because it's super loud, but yeah, that works as well. Random password. I'm not going to show you that. Okay. Yeah, so that's fundamentally the big things that it does. I think I covered most of the stuff, at least the stuff I really, really like. Oh, one thing I didn't do is, where's that visualizer? Detector. Yeah, this guy. So check that out. Pretty cool. Yeah. So there you have it. This is a sweet device. Probably one of my favorite little doodads that I carry around. Not because I'm getting into trouble or anything, but I tell you what, this is probably the most handy thing. Let me go back. The looking glass. So if you're in an area and you're like, what's going on the RFs? Well, let's widen this up a little bit. So again, my come back now. My antenna is, let's just say 25 megahertz, and we'll set this to, that's fine. Just leave it at that. So we've got some wild signals, like super crazy loud signals. So let's back this off a little bit. Where is my, let's bring the LNA down. And maybe we'll take off max hold. Crazy, though, because now it's, like, locked in. Oh. Yeah. But handy. Really handy. It's so cool. That's one way. Listen is the other way. So listen is a little bit, audio. So, no. There's audio, search, level. Is it search? No, it's not search. Anyway, there's all kinds of fun stuff. You can play around with it. There you go. I love it. Yeah, so yes, you can. It will do HF, but you probably need an upconverter, right? And so what does an upconverter do? An upconverter, like the new elec, and so let me zoom out here. What the upconverter does is it'll actually, so the upconverter is 125 megahertz. So you just take whatever the frequency on HF is and add it to 125 and set it on that. And that's all you have to do to get on whatever frequency. Yeah. No Meshtastic. No Meshtastic. Other than it can show you the LoRa signals that people are sending. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Hey guys, again, we're going to do an after chat here, so feel free to take the link in the video description. And yeah, big shout out to the producers. You guys are the ones who voted on this, and I made this scroll kind of long. So we'll take questions now. Big shout out to the producer level patrons. They're the ones who vote on this. There was some questions in the Discord and on the Patreon about the producer level. So patron picks vote is once a month, usually on the first weekend of the month. So I will usually have them vote 1 week before or 2 weeks before. And it's a whole series of different topics, live stream topics that I've cooked up, and we just cycle through them over time. This one's actually been sitting for a little while to do this video, so thanks everybody who voted on it. But that level, the producer level, is the one that votes every month, and then once, usually twice to 3 times a year, I open it up for all patrons to vote. We usually do that in December for Christmas stream, which will be coming up next month, and then somewhere in the middle, like when, summertime-ish. So that's how that works. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, Jody, I think that you can receive all of that. You could probably even record the whatever's received, but it doesn't do, like, goes yet. It has a NOAA setting, but I'm pretty sure that there's not enough NOAA. Those are done. The low Earth orbit ones are done. I think it's all goes at this point. And yeah, that it doesn't do that yet from what I've seen. Yeah. That I don't know. So I haven't seen that. There is a GitHub though, and it is the same. So if you go to the H4M Mayhem Wiki page that I had earlier, that is where you can go find some of the commentary on and discussions there. Well, so the question is, Josh, what is the device actually good for other than RF checks? All the things I showed you. It'll function as a two-way radio. It can record signals and replay them. So hypothetically, that could be voice. Might be able to be voice. Why wouldn't it be voice? We'll test that in the after chat. I'll do that in the beginning of the after chat. I'll record into it with my voice, and then we'll replay it and see what it. I bet it works. It should work fine. You can listen for APRS. You can send APRS. You can do ADSB. You can send ADSB. I don't know that you should. As well as boats. You can pick up the boats. Yeah. It's good for RF. It's an RF tool. It's an RF Swiss Army knife is really what it is, which is fantastic. That's everything you want and more, right? Everything I want in a device like this. It is more radio than the Flipper is, right? The Flipper has other stuff it works with, like little security tags and infrared. It has an infrared blaster. It's really, really good. The Flipper Zero has the best infrared clicker of any device I've ever used, frankly. Yeah. What else could you want? I will. I've got ridiculous noise. I found out, I think, 1 or 2 houses that is generating it, and I need to actually go over there with a Yagi and test. And so I may do that. I may use that as see if the Fox Hunt tool works. Otherwise, I'll bring my Tiny SA and my 705 and see which one helps me the most. I'll probably have to bring my offset attenuator too. Oh. Let's find out, Don. Let's find out. I actually don't know. So hold on. Hold, please. Will it do mode? Oh. Seriously? Okay, hold on. What's my... let's see. 28.350. Go! And let's go back to this guy. Nope. This guy. That one is... Yes, that's the one. And hold on. I'm quite curious about this, actually. So we need to be 350? Yeah. Why did that all stop working? I gotta reset my little remote control thing that I normally use is not working. Okay. Let's give it a whirl here, guys. Let's see. Hold on. Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu. Test. Yeah. Hold on. Kilo India 6, November Alpha Zulu. Test. Probably because I'm in close proximity, but I wouldn't be using this. I wouldn't be using this for a PODA or soda activation. Okay, let's just be completely frank about it. Yes, Christmas lights can be a source of noise. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. Yeah, cool guys. All right, well that's it for me today. We're gonna be live again here shortly. I do think I have all the parts to build that that PicoSat thing, or what is everybody doing? The tiny sat, tiny ground station, tiny GS, something tiny something. Anyway, maybe we'll play around with that in the after chat. But we'll be taking your questions live, so feel free to join us over there. I appreciate you watching. I'm Josh KI6NAZ. 7073s. Oh, hey, Crazy Mike, thank you. Maybe we'll play around with that in the after chat. We'll set it back to HackRF. I don't know. I probably have to go download it from the GitHub.